I'm Ameya. I come from India, Bangalore, India, the basically Silicon Valley of India. I've been working in marketing for about 7 years, handling a wide portfolio of about almost 12 consumer brands and essentially overlooking market launches in different geographies. And essentially, once you kind of hit a certain number of years in your career, you kind of start to plateau in your learning curve. And I think that was one of the reasons for me to kind of upskill myself. And MBA was a natural choice because it's such an all-rounded sort of development. And yeah, that's probably why I chose to do an MBA and sort of started applying almost about, post-COVID, about 2021, I started, working and researching towards it. And yeah, that's pretty much been my journey. So I think one of the reasons I chose to kind of come to UNC and just the US schooling system was probably because of the more practical focus that it has on education overall. I think our MBA focuses a lot on the practical atmosphere. There's things like improvisation and business communication that's pulled in, which is actually really great because that's something that you require on a daily life as managers. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I chose Kenan-Flagler, because one, it was global. Second, it had this whole practical approach. And I think third was because healthcare became a big focus on, post-COVID. I think UNC has that edge over other business schools where it has this entire array of offerings. Their Center of Business of Health, which offers you a complete door to healthcare industries, pharma, medical devices, etc. And it's kind of known for it. We're I think one of the smaller class sizes. We're 250 in sort of size, and I think through different activities you end up sort of meeting all of the 250 people. You end up working with them, and it's not just your class. You work with your second years because there are classes like electives you take with your second years as well. So it's not just your batch, but also another batch of 250 people that you have access to. And essentially it's close-knit because it's North Carolina, it's in the South, and people in the South are really nice. So we have one of those nicer MBA cohorts that really love engaging with each other, having a lot of fun, playing kickball on Sundays and things like that. So I think that really helps because you want to find a sense of belonging, and there's a lot of competition, but there's also a lot of collaboration. You rely on your cohort a lot for anything and everything, and we're kind of there for each other. And yeah, I mean, as an international student, that's all the difference that you make, because you're going into this new place, thrown in the deep end, and just after imagine you're working for 7 years and one day you have to shut shop and just study, and you don't know anyone. So it really helps, I think. Just simple things we're doing a beach cleanup today actually. So after this call I'm going for a beach cleanup with some of my classmates, and I guess that's gonna be fun. So yeah, just some of those activities that really make your life happy. North Carolina is a state which is really beautiful, really scenic. There's mountains, beaches, basically a mix of everything. You get a lot of sun, so that's important. At least for me, coming from a tropical country, I have not seen winters. So, for me, it was very important to not go to a place where I had the harshest of winters, because I may not be able to stand it. And I think North Carolina has that balance essentially, right? It has that good balance of weather overall. The other part of it is that it's basically Chapel Hill, where the university is very close to the Research Triangle of America, where all of this new development is happening. Google has opened its new offices. A bunch of companies are moving their new departments here. So there's a lot of job opportunity that's been created within the region. It's very close to Washington, D.C., sort of on the belt with New York and, DC as well. So, you have access to the financial markets as well. So it's very important to where you sort of choose to live and work in the US. And I think that's kind of the overview that I can provide for Chapel Hill and North Carolina overall. And I think our community is a very small one. We have like a small college town vibe. I think in the summer, you'll see, people in the main campus just putting down picnic mats and just having a nice picnic. You'll see a small downtown streets with like a lot of these student, halls and joints. There's like another jointed community called Carborough where people, do yoga and like have a more, sort of relaxed kind of a way of life. So it's overall a very college town, yet has its, appeal in terms of just studies. So yeah, you don't get lost here. Like you would probably get lost in a big city, but you don't really get lost here. I would say North Carolina has people who have the nicest people. I remember my aunt who had actually come to drop me or settle me in the first week from California. And she said that people actually smile at you at the grocery stop. So basically, she was like really impressed by the niceness of people. And that's probably why we're one of the more nicer MBAs, as they call it. That's the internal sort of insight, essentially. And that lends itself to people, right? Automatically, you're in that sphere where you are nice to people, you're collaborative, you're in that sense of atmosphere of positivity. You have like our program office is super friendly. You can just walk into their doors. We have a global programs office that actually puts all of us and sends all of us abroad for programs and things like that. So I think overall it's very, there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of collaboration, and everyone's there to help you out in any case possible. Everyone comes with a sense of discipline that I'm quite surprised by, because it's very easy to get lost in the crowd, but everyone's kind of doing their own thing, they're forging their own path. Everyone, reads well, comes to class well informed. They have different perspectives that they share from their previous work experience, which is, a lot to say. Like you're putting in almost like 16 hours of work in a day, including all the social activities. So yeah. Something about MBA, I don't know if people talk about it, and I'm just going to be very honest about it, is that you start your career journey almost even before you join the MBA program. You begin your pre-MBA recruitment, you start applying to companies, you start forging the sort of career concentrations that you want, whether it is consulting, investment banking, management, etc. So you sort of start before the MBA, just so that you have a grip of things when you come in. And then I think now that, I've sort of been through that grind, I'm going to start doing my internship in June with Dell Technologies. And I'm going to go into product marketing and product management. But this was sort of a year in the making almost, right? Because I had started thinking about this since I got my admission, right? And started networking with the people, with the alumni, and, easing into the recruitment. It was a tough 6 months of recruitment cycles and just, a lot of events that you have to go to, a lot of applications, a lot of interviews. And I'm pretty happy to, sort of have had an internship, and hopefully we'll have a full-time offer after this. So the career coaches are actually available to you from the time that you accept the admission to UNC Kenan-Flagler. Whatever career coaches have their office hours set up. Even in May, like I know right now, students who are coming in for this fall have access to career coaches. They have access to development workshops where they're actually, tailoring their resumes for several, pre-MBA opportunities. They're working on their resume. We as, incoming second years are actually guiding them, doing webinars and one-on-one calls with them just to guide them in terms of how to go about it. So a lot of the work starts early and just keeps continuing. The school facilitates a lot of on-campus recruitment as well. So there are some preferred recruiting partners who come on campus to recruit as well. So there is, a very harmonious relationship. But I think at the end of the day, this applies to kind of any MBA that you do across the world. It is what you make of it. It is the opportunities that you make of it. So you have to really go out there on your own and ensure that you're pitching yourself in the right way. The career team here, the career coaches do a very good job of molding your resume in the right way. I remember my resume went through like 27 edits before. Yeah, I'm not kidding. 27 edits before it was in the perfect shape, before the career coaches actually said okay to it, because they wanted to get it right. And that's the amount of detailing that goes into it. So really, it's about developing you, and then you go and pitch it out yourself. So that part of, the hard work is on you. I would recommend that you do your research in advance in terms of, what kind of industries you want to go into, what kind of career that you want to have post-MBA. Talk to as many alumni as possible. Talk to people who are there where you want to get to. So for example, if you want to be a product manager, talk to product managers, get into their shoes, understand how their journey was, so that you have some kind of a path cleared out for you. You know what you're going to do in the first 3 months, in the first 6 months, and then the first 9 months essentially, in terms of your career, because that's the main sort of part of it. The learning will happen. You will go through the grind. You will learn how to, get to the right, presentations and the Excel and tools and things like that. But I think that clarity really helps coming into the MBA. And even with respect to UNC Kenan-Flagler, it's very important to nail down what kind of career path you want to have. Talk to prospective students. We have a lot of webinars that are happening for different career paths, and you can join in and just understand, what kind of companies come to recruit, and just talk to people. You can talk to our professors, you can talk to our career coaches, even without having an admission or an admit to the UNC. So you can just get all of that information.